Why did you sign with the Giants?
To win a championship.
No. Why did you sign with the Giants?
Well, I wanted to get paid as a free agent.
Did the Giants offer you the most money?
No.
Who offered you the most money?
It was Washington and Green Bay.
In New York was the team that you felt closest to a championship with.
Yeah, because it's in part my hometown. And then
they
there
already
was an
won
opportunity. They won a championship in 2007 when I was with the Dallas Cowboys.
But there were
I made my decision in 2009.
But there were other factors that went into your decision to go and play for the New York Giants.
You wanted to say because it was home.
I wanted to go somewhere where I could win a championship.
I get it. But your argument is great if you're guaranteeing me that I'm going to be able to try to compete and win a championship in the finals. Not everywhere you go, you're going to, especially in the NBA, guaranteed to play in the finals, regardless of the team that you build. So it can't be just, I'm going to just blindly chase championships in the hope that I'm eventually going to win one.
I'm not saying blindly chase championships because you got to do what's in your financial best interest. But ultimately, winning a championship should be a priority for somebody that considers themselves a competitor. And it makes it easier for a fan to root for a player when you have that type of mentality, when you're willing to do almost whatever it takes to be able to compete for a championship.
I do think, though, that you have to add in, if a player is a top 5 or top 10 talent, that's when fans want to watch and say, okay, you're a really good individually. Now what can you do for a team? I do think that part of it comes in. Because if you're that type
of talent, you're going to get the financial security that you're looking for anyway.
Right.
So how much of a factor is that in your decision?
Right. 800-919-3776. Ali in New Jersey. Go ahead, Ali.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's popping?
The question is for Chris. Of course, I like the Cowboys, Chris. I'm not a big fan of the Giants, Chris. But it seems to me
I got love for the Cowboys, Ali. Listen, they drafted me. Bill Parcells gave me my first opportunity in the NFL.
How about the tone he had with you? I don't like the Giants,
exactly.
Chris.
It's not my fault I had to leave the Cowboys, Ali. They told me they weren't going to pay me.
That's exactly what we're getting to. That's the point I'm getting to, Chris.
All right.
What happened to loyalty? What happened to these are my 5, these are my boys, we playing together. We gonna ride and we gonna try to win, and we gonna just because you decide to stay with your team does not mean you don't want to win. It's who you want to win with, and that's where Kevin Durant is getting all this slack from because he could have won with Westbrook, I believe, if they just added a couple more pieces, but he left to go play with the Warriors.
But Ali, I don't think Kevin Durant believes he could have won with Westbrook, and it goes back to a conversation that Rick and I had earlier in the show, and we were talking about style of play. What Russell Westbrook was doing in terms of being a ball-dominant guard in Oklahoma City, trying to prove that he was an elite-level player, not necessarily putting Kevin Durant in situations where he could be at his best versus how they played out in Golden State where they shared the ball, and Kevin Durant realized he could be the best player on a team that shared the ball, and he was going to get opportunities and touches that he was going to be comfortable with. In terms of a scheme fit, I think Kevin Durant looked at this situation in terms of Golden State being a better opportunity for him. So I don't know that that's necessarily an apples-to-apples comparison.
Yeah, but here's the other problem, though. But here's the other problem with this argument. Now, there's not many players in any sport like Kevin Durant, where you're already established yourself as an all-star, an MVP, and, oh, by the way, you have a $300 million shoe deal where you can afford to just go do whatever the hell you want to do because money doesn't matter. Not every athlete's like that. I mean, I heard Kay before when they asked, how do you get steroids out of baseball? Well, you got some guys that come from Puerto Rico, the Dominican, that aren't necessarily concerned with making the Hall of Fame. So they could give a rat's ass if they test positive for PEDs because they have one goal in mind.
Get me my money.
Get as much money as possible. So every person, I'm saying, I don't care who you are, has different reasons to do different things. Some guys are driven by championships, and some guys aren't. Some guys just want to have fun, make as much money as they can, and maybe at the end of the day, they'll be a Hall of Famer or whatever it is.
No, I'm not arguing that point. I'm agreeing with you that different people have different agendas. But as a fan, is it easy to root for that guy that doesn't necessarily put winning before everything else?
No, it's not easy, but to say they're not a competitor, like you could be competing, like Russell Westbrook is competing against James Harden and LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard because he wants to prove to everybody, I'm the best player in the league. That doesn't necessarily have to translate into wins and losses. That's his motivation. I want to prove to people that I'm the MVP. That's his motivation.
But if you're talking about the best player in the league, shouldn't that be through the lens of a guy that puts his team in a situation where they can compete for championships?
Well, if he's playing that well, doesn't he feel like in his heart of hearts that with this team I'm putting if I'm playing at this level, I'm putting my team in a chance to win a championship. I'm not going to go chase a championship somewhere else.
No,
Russell
because
Westbrook
of the way
was
he
an
played.
MVP candidate, and his team had no chance to win a championship.
At all.
No, and he ran off an MVP caliber player in Kevin Durant because of the way he played.